What is
Mhm.
causing us to get our menses early?
Well, as I describe in the book, carbohydrates,
Okay.
because it wasn't until we invented agriculture and
Mm.
started eating grain that menstrual ages plummeted. So the more carbohydrates you eat, the earlier a girl is going to menstruate. And hunter-gatherers, 17, 18. And we have seen through history, and there all those papers are in my book, basically, how not just the age of menstruation lowered, but also the actual formation of the hips. Baby giving birth became a lot more dangerous and painful with the advent of agriculture. Levels,
Okay.
cortisol, it's a stimulant.
Okay.
It's that wrench into the endocrine system.
Okay.
Our human endocrine system evolved to eat meat and fat, full stop. Did not evolve to eat carbohydrates. When we ran out of meat and fat, we didn't die if we ate a handful of berries. Maybe a bunch of our forebears died eating a few vegetables, and they figured, oh, well, let me ferment this, and fewer will die. So, but that's really what it is. I mean, it's quite frightening if you read about what happened to humankind since, as how our bodies changed and our lifestyles changed with the advent of agriculture. My youngest had a car accident when she was 18. She almost died. Her adrenals kept her alive. She went into shock. She stayed alive. I had to treat her adrenals, and I've told this to many patients. I had to treat her adrenal function for several years. When she became pregnant, she was never hypothyroid. When she became pregnant, I insisted that they test more. Where she was living, they didn't do free T3, free T4, and I insisted on doing that. And she was indeed hypothyroid. So I'm positive that her becoming hypothyroid, developing hypothyroid, low thyroid function was because of the shock to her system when she had that car accident. So she will be treating her thyroid until she's done nursing. The stress response trauma can cause low thyroid function because what is trauma? It is very nutritionally expensive.
Yes. Yes.
It's all about nutrients. That's what we're always talking about. If you have adequate nutrients and you can reduce the stress, you should be fine. Fluoride in our water, bromide in our couches, and I don't know, PFAs, toxins, as you said, plastic bottles sitting on your dashboard, quercetin that everybody wants to take, tea they want to drink. I mean, the mint. I mean, all mint plants are goitrogens. Millet, yams, so many things are brassica, broccoli. It's just, we didn't evolve to eat these things, and we are just shoving them into our systems constantly. Now, if you're eating a high fat carnivore diet, you're kind of like, you're kind of like shoving some of those things. If you're eating more of the good stuff, a little bit of those things won't cause an issue, right? So, but if you have an issue, how are you going to fix it if you don't remove those things? Well, if you're talking about Prozac, I mean, we know that they lowers free T3 and free T4 levels. So that you have to go into the whole endocrine system again, though, right? What do they do? They're messing with cortisol levels. So I mean, they have all these papers. These people's cortisol levels went down temporarily while they were taking the medication, but it doesn't take into consideration what happens later. You can't mess with the cortisol system. If you mess with it, there'll be a negative feedback response later on. I mean, these medications lower thyroid levels. I mean, it just goes, I mean, I have so many papers that I discuss in the book about how this works and which ones do it. And I mean, medications are suppressing function. So of course they're going to lower thyroid. Thyroid is a growth hormone. Things are supposed to be built if you have thyroid hormone, right? It's a building hormone. So if you're taking something that is basically negating your sympathetic nervous system, because that's what they do. Why is the sympathetic nervous system giving you anxiety? Why are these things happening? Because of this, and that. And if you gag that with the medication, these things are going to keep happening.